Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Just Roll It Already. I'm your host, Daryl.
I'm your other host, Jeremiah.
And I'm the rules lawyer, John.
Okay, and today we are doing Let's Look At, and we are looking at Anima Beyond Fantasy by Fantasy Flight Games.
Now, that's the publishing company.
Yeah.
I just want to state that, is it Sage that actually produces it, or is it Anima Project Studio?
I can't be quite certain on that part because all I know is it was originally printed in Spanish.
That seems very strange that, considering its setting...
It's anime-ish.
Yeah, it's very anime. Hell, it's called Anima.
But that's
Change the last vowel. Just saying.
but Anima is more based off the religion of Anima.
Is it? Is it?
Well, I mean the word Anima.
Well, I know. Yeah, I know. Anima.
Yeah, the
gods.
Anima religion.
Animus gods.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit more about this. Now, this is a game that is very unique, and I played it a couple times only, and it's been a very enjoyable time each time. And a quick rundown for those who do not know about it. You are an adventuring character in the world of Gaia. It is a very interesting world. It has a monotheistic viewpoint as far as religion goes, and it has several different cultures. And at one point, and historically, if I'm butchering, I'm sorry, all these fantasy races that existed, elves, giants, demons, angels, etc. Well, they existed at one point, but then whatever reason they just disappeared. Just died out overnight. Nobody knows why. But then one day they started coming back, reborn into what should have been stillborn children as these lost souls, or the Nephilim, as they would be called in the books.
Wait, is that what it is?
Yep.
Ah, I see.
So they take on the characteristics of these past selves, and they kind of have memories from the past, and it's a very unique reincarnation ideal. And from that point, you have certain aspects of these things, like you have certain features, or you have certain affinities, or you have some weaknesses. You can play just a plain old normal human being, and it's a fun game either way.
I've always liked playing a human being when it's all fantasy races, because then you're kind of like, you feel like the odd man out, but being the odd man out in any sort of setting isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No. Each time I ran this game, everyone except one person was not a Nephilim. Everyone was a Nephilim. The only person that wasn't a Nephilim was my wife. And on top of that, this game has a ton of classes. It's a class-based system that uses a 2D 10 percentile game. Roll high, roll often high. Higher the better, plus everything. You can get like, oh, well, I just rolled a 76 plus my 58 for this, and that's a total of whatever the number is. And that's pretty much what happens. Don't forget the modifiers. Don't forget to subtract or add, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of number crunching in this game.
Yeah. From what I've seen, from the little I've read, it's like a crazy combination of like World of Darkness, D&D, Eclipse Phase, with aspects of like a couple other games. It is
Insane.
Yeah, like the amount of detail they've added is pretty phenomenal.
It's a detailed book. There is some hiccups in the system alone as far as typos go and structure, but that's what happens when you get a very big game. This book is hefty.
Yeah, you could kill someone with it. I mean, if you got a good swing in, they would right to the temple. They're
it's
dead.
like it ranks up there with the Pathfinder core rulebook.
Yeah, I think the Pathfinder core rulebook is still pretty big. Although this does encompass everything about it. So, as far as a game's heft...
Its lexicon is pretty small in reality.
Yeah, but it's very thorough. The text is very small in the book, so there's a lot of information to read.
Yeah, it took me a month just to read and figure out how to run the game.
I'm starting to see a very similar pattern to 3.5's books. If you read through a 3.5 book, you'll find that it reads much akin to a story, front to cover, or cover to cover. It reads much akin to the story, as in like a story about characters, as opposed to just cut and dry rules. I'm seeing a lot of narrative in it from the beginning to the end.
This one does have a lot of narrative. The world itself is a very unique, complex one, and it's hard to say how you can't explain it or can't explain it, because they
just like Bill O'Reilly says, you can't explain it.
No, you can't explain it. But all I can say is that this game is also designed on the rule systems to base it around a retrofit to an anime. If you have a game that you want to run but you don't know what it is, well, or even a video game that's Japanese influence, like, I don't know, Final Fantasy, this will shoe in perfectly. You can do a lot of crazy overclocking things, and also in one of the books I've read, they say you can actually take your favorite anime and integrate it.
I'm trying to think of the trope. There are several animes that actually utilize mythological figures as primary characters.
Oh, you're talking about like the story of Gilgamesh, or
Yeah.
Like
Gilgamesh, and then there's
There's a Cthulhu one.
yep, there is.
Slice of life.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's funny.
Um,
I'll show you too.
I will say, for anything we do a Let's Look at, I always have to do the art.
Yes, the
It's
art.
bloody fabulous.
I'd say the
Oh,
art has a lot of boobs involved.
It does,
It's
but
there are
it's
a lot of
anime
boobs.
style. It
I know,
always
boobs are huge.
That's what they always do. And it's not always accurate, but it's the stylization that people like.
I know I
Boobs, yes.
I want to
Oh,
also
and
I
the
wouldn't
over
give it-
ridiculous everything in this game.
But I wouldn't just say, oh, it's anime style, because it does go beyond a bit of the anime style, because it is definitely a lot more detailed than your what it would be considered your typical anime style, especially that of like some of the like, it's not like Pokemon anime where it's like super simple anime. No, it's definitely more stylized, more detail oriented.
It's it is a very highly detailed one.
I would say it's a cross between Japanese art and Eastern art and Western art. It has a blend between the two.
It's a hybrid.
Yeah, because this right here is very, very Western. Just because of the soft shading versus the hard shading.
Now I'm actually wondering if in fact they actually have multiple artists instead of one, and that
Oh,
kind
I
of
guarantee
blend.
you that they do.
Yeah,
They do.
most artists in a game like
most
these.
books do.
Yeah, and generally it's these smaller self-publishing books that have a single artist or photographer.
Yeah.
Now, a little thing more about the book that I was going to talk about. Something that I saw that sometimes scratched my head is the organization of this book. It's very difficult to navigate if you're trying to figure out what's going on. You say, oh, what about this thing and this thing and this thing, and it takes a lot of time to read it. There's a lot to cover. I mean, there's over 20 classes alone, and some of them are hybrid classes. There's also, on top of that, there's not just plain physical attacks and magic attacks. There's also psychic attacks, and then summons, and all these other crazy things that get way over the top.
You know, I noticed that too, and go into like say D&D, like they'll like classes, or no, they'll do races, classes, blankety, 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 blank.
Right.
This doesn't really have that structure. It's kind of different than from other RPGs. Like a lot of RPGs follow the same structure with how they list their table of contents. This actually doesn't. It kind of goes a little bit different. So for someone who's new to RPGs, it could be a bit confuddling. And to those who are used to RPGs,
Yeah,
a bit confusing.
It takes a lot of reading and a lot of page flipping from one point to another. Yeah, every rule, all the basic rules are laid out from the beginning, but trying to figure out how to play the game is a different story.
Yeah, it's true. Like if there's a lot of page flipping, I kind of have a downside to it. Like, it kind of puts me off really quick. If there's a lot of page flipping. If there's not enough page flipping, that also puts me off. Because if I'm not having to refer to something, it means it's not fleshed out enough.
There's not enough detail.
What I specifically mean is, like, if it's the first time reading the book, and I don't have a resource to constantly go to, and I'm not, able to go back, it's just, But if it's too much, where I have to go, oh, see this section you read earlier, and then go further into the index.
And
like,
once you get
that's
to
too
that
much.
section, it tells you to look at this other section.
Yeah, I don't like choose your own adventure or choose your own
Adventure rule
adventure
books.
stories. Yeah.
However, now is there a summary page of the rules? Like that's one thing I always look for in an rule
I don't
book.
really quite recall, because I don't think so. I think that just all the rules are laid out before in the beginning, and then it just moves on to other things.
Yeah, because World of Darkness, they have like a couple pages which all these rules, these 300 pages you just read of rules? Well, we've also summarized the main rules on these 2 pages. And that's like the most important part of any rulebook for me is like those couple pages where they're like, here's the main rules,
This is for people to ask questions on. Then
Yeah.
here is the summary for those who know all the rules.
It's a quick reference,
Yes.
page.
Oh wow, that's confusing.
What?
The exchange rates for currency: 1 gold coin equals 100 silver coins, but 1 silver coin equals 10 copper coins.
What?
Yes.
Oh, that's a typo.
That's a typo?
Yep,
Oh.
it's a typo.
Okay.
Did
Then
they do it like an errata or
is it
something?
hundreds or is it tens then?
It's all in hundreds.
Okay.
Oh.
So it's just
Okay.
like your system.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a traditional, like, simplified system rather
but
than
Think
making
dollars and pennies, yeah.
dollars and pennies. Yep. And
My character would have nothing but men's underwear and a scarf.
yes, you can buy some pretty strange things, but also
Men's underwear.
Yeah, another.
Lingerie? That's strange.
Howard, I would like to point out my favorite part of Anima so far. Accidents.
Clogs.
Yes,
Wait,
accidents.
accidents.
Yes, you love accidents.
My favorite thing in World of Darkness? Flaws. Because it's something that just screws with the character, because it's, a thing. Anima, you have accidents. What are accidents? It's not a trap. No, it's like a natural disaster. Like, you can, trip over a tree branch and then get impaled on a tree branch from tripping over said tree branch. That's not a trap. It's just a random happenstance.
That's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as you're not rolling to avoid dangerous things, I'm pretty sure you can avoid accidents.
Also, there is local. There is criticals in this game too, and then there is location of critical.
Location of
So
critical?
I could have
Arm, legs, head, torso.
So I could be like a vampire type character, and then have the tree branch impale my heart on a critical failure, and
Yeah.
then get sent into torpor of sorts. Is what you're saying?
Quite possibly, yes. It's a very
Or you just land on a series of tree branches, impaling everything but your heart. To include your testicles.
yes. It's just to summarize this game in my opinion, I've ran it, I played it, I read it. It's a great game. It takes a lot of work to get used to. It's not a typical traditional game because combat alone, it's a heavy combat game to begin with. But combat alone, it took me 5 sessions to finally understand and run it smoothly without any hiccups, and it paid off in the end. I suggest print off the critical the critical levels and armor levels to determine damage. Print it off if you don't have the Game Master screen, because you're going to be flipping to that page constantly, and it's going to drive you nuts.
Which one you say it was?
There's a certain thing that goes on that it determines calculations of damage based on your armor type and how high you rolled.
Oh, geez, that does sound like it'd be the go-to page.
Yeah, it is the go-to page. I've used the GM screen religiously because of it.
So it's much the way as 4Ed is highly combat-based, then?
Well, it's not the soul phase, because there's one skill that makes me scratch my head due to its zaniness of this game.
Flare.
Style.
Style.
I was just about to say. And by the way, not to get too off topic, but let's now, for all those out there, let's reference back to our dear friend Mr. Brady. What's his favorite skill in this game?
Roll for style.
Yes.
Yes, amazing style.
I like how we all hive mind synchronize that. Yes.
Brady just cannot emphasize enough.
Yes.
He tried to convince me to put style in a D&D game once.
I'm like that with the smell feature in Dragon Age. I like it's one of those. It's a game that has one of those skills that you wish was in every other game.
Because it's so different.
It's just so awesome. Yeah.
Yes, and when all is different, nobody's different. The game has some dangers and has some flaws, some typos and grammatical errors, but it's on a scale rating it 4 to 5 to keep it simple. Because
before, so
I'd give it a 4 because it's a good game. It has a great unique combat system. The world is unique. The whole setting and system is just, I like it a lot. It has a good flavor and feel to it. It could be smoothed out a little bit better and more organized. That's pretty much my only gripe about it is.
Like a 4.37A. That's legit, right? Yeah.
I don't know. We're not accurate.
I didn't really do well in school. Anyway,
yeah. Now, given that I haven't actually played the game yet, but I've heard stories about it, it seems like it could be a good play. There are a lot of numbers, and the only downside really to the book is that if there's too much page flipping, it can be a pain in the ass. So,
that is definitely something I am saying.
I have to give it a 4. I can't sell it short on any other aspect. It's very built for what it does.
Yep.
In the sense of like the game it is what it is. It's not trying to be something else. It's pretty bold faced. It reminds me almost like what was it? Exalted.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Reminds me of
Exalted.
Exalted.
I never played Exalted, but I tried to read the books. I couldn't get into them.
Exalted, you play gods, or not gods,
No,
but
you-
avatars of gods.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
play the heroes. Instead of starting at level 1 here, you start at level 20.
Yep, pretty much.
It's like right out the gate, you're powerful, and that's what people like.
Yeah, so it reminds me of Exalted, but it doesn't have like the. It's still, I mean, in the sense it's over the top, but it's not like super flamboyant about it. Well, I mean, it is with the style, but
I love style.
You'll need to read further in the book than later, because then you'll find out how flamboyant this
okay,
game
well,
is.
like you're only as flamboyant as you want your character to be. Like
Style,
you could be as stone faced you want in any role playing.
style
Yeah.
is the bard feature. I feel of this. It's the performance of the flamboyances.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, so I have to give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so roughly we're unanimous across the board about being a good game
Yeah.
with some flaws. So anyways, I think that will do it for this episode. Like, comment, subscribe below. If you have anything you want us to look at, let us know. Or you can also send things to our Gmail. I just rolled it already at gmail.com.
You totally should.
Yeah, you should. I'm Daryl.
I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm John.